As First Lady, Eleanor chooses to speak for the poor and the powerless. She embarks on a journey that redefines the role, transforming it from a ceremonial position into a powerful platform for social advocacy. Her decision is not born of political expediency but from a deep, personal conviction forged through years of observation and empathy. Eleanor sees the stark inequalities plaguing the nation, the silent suffering of millions affected by economic hardship, racial discrimination, and the social neglect. She understands that her unique position grants her a voice that can reach the highest echelon of power, a voice that can amplify the whispers of the forgotten. Instead of remaining cloistered within the White House, she ventures into the heart of America, determined to be the eyes and the ears for her husband and for the country. She travels to the grimy coal mines of Appalachia, the dust-choked farms of the Midwest, and the segregated communities of the South, listening to the stories of ordinary people and bearing witness to their struggles. This direct engagement provides her with an unparalleled understanding of the nation's pulse, an understanding she channels into her tireless efforts to champion the cause of those left behind. Her commitment is not just to observe but to act, to translate empathy into tangible policy recommendations and the public pressure. She becomes a relentless force, challenging the status quo and pushing for a more just and equitable society. Her choice is a courageous one, often placing her at odds with powerful political figures and the established social norms. But it is a choice that cements her legacy as a true public servant. Eleanor's advocacy extends far beyond mere words. She actively immerses herself in the lives of the people she seeks to help. Her travels are not fleeting photo opportunities but deep, investigative journeys. She descends into the darkness of coal mines to speak with miners about their hazardous working conditions and the meager pay. She sits in the humble shacks of sharecroppers, listening to their tales of death and the despair. She visits the burgeoning urban slums, witnessing firsthand the overcrowded and the unsanitary living conditions that breed disease and the hopelessness. These experiences are not sanitized for her. She insists on seeing the unvarnished reality. The images, sounds, and the stories from these trips are seared into her memory and they fuel her determination. Upon returning to Washington, she does not simply file a report. She becomes a persistent and persuasive voice in the president's ear, recounting in vivid detail what she has witnessed. She argues passionately for specific interventions, fair labor standards, improved housing, and the support for struggling farmers. Her influence is profound, as she helps shape No Deal programs designed to alleviate poverty and create economic opportunity. She uses her widely read newspaper column, My Day, to share her observations with the American public, humanizing the statistics of the Great Depression and fostering a national sense of shared responsibility. Through her relentless travel and reporting, Eleanor bridges the gap between the seat of power and the streets of suffering, ensuring that the concerns of the most vulnerable are not just heard but are placed at the very center of the national agenda. She becomes a strong advocate for human rights, a role she embraces with both passion and strategic acumen. Eleanor's concept of human rights is broad and inclusive, encompassing not only civil and political liberties but also economic and social well-being. She firmly believes that true freedom is unattainable without freedom from want and fear. One of her most prominent and courageous crusades is for the rights of African Americans. In an era of rampant segregation and systemic racism, she openly challenges the discriminatory practices that permeate American society. She publicly supports anti-lynching legislation, a highly controversial stance at a time that alienates powerful Southern Democrats. Her commitment is demonstrated through powerful symbolic acts, such as her famous decision to resign from the Daughters of the American Revolution in 1939. The organization had refused to allow the renowned African-American contralto, Marian Anderson, to perform at Constitution Hall. In response, Eleanor, with the help of Secretary of the Interior Harold Dix, arranges for Anderson to sing at the Lincoln Memorial. The concert, attended by a massive, integrated crowd of 75,0 people, and broadcast to millions more, becomes a seminal moment in the American civil rights movement, a powerful statement against racial prejudice. She also works behind the scenes, consistently pressuring government agencies to ensure that New Deal programs are administered fairly and to increase the number of African Americans in federal employment. Her advocacy is not limited to a single issue. She also champions the rights of women workers and the refugees, consistently using her platform to argue for a society where dignity and the opportunity are extended to all regardless of race, creed, or gender. Eleanor's influence transcends her time as First Lady, culminating in her pivotal role in the creation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. After Franklin Roosevelt's death in 1945, President Harry S. Truman, recognizing her unparalleled stature as a global humanitarian, appoints her as a delegate to the newly formed United Nations. It is in this international arena that she undertakes what she considers her most important work. As chairperson of the UN Commission on Human Rights, she is the driving force behind the drafting of the Declaration. The task is monumental, requiring her to navigate a complex web of competing ideologies and the political interests in a world fractured by the Cold War. For 2 years, she presides over long and often contentious meetings, skillfully using her diplomatic grace and the unwavering resolve to forge consensus among delegates from diverse cultural and legal traditions. She tirelessly negotiates the language of each of the 30 articles, ensuring that the document enshrines a comprehensive set of fundamental rights and the freedoms for all people everywhere. She argues that human rights are not a Western invention but a universal aspiration, the foundation for a lasting peace. Her leadership is crucial in overcoming stalemates and pushing the Commission forward. On Desember 10, 1948, the UN General Assembly adopts the Universal Declaration of Human Rights without a single dissenting vote, a testament to her extraordinary statesmanship. The Declaration stands as an enduring monument to her vision, a global standard against which all nations are measured and a source of inspiration for human rights advocates around the world. Through her unyielding dedication and courageous actions, Eleanor helps bring positive change to society. Her legacy is not merely a collection of accomplishments but a fundamental shift in how society perceives the responsibilities of leadership and the rights of citizenship. As First Lady, she shattered the traditional mold, proving that the position could be a powerful instrument for social progress. She gave a voice to millions who had been rendered invisible by poverty and prejudice, forcing the nation to confront its deepest inequalities. Her advocacy for African Americans helped lay the moral and political groundwork for the civil rights movement that would transform the country in the decades following her tenure. Her persistent fight for workers' rights contributed to a new social contract that recognized the dignity of labor and the need for economic security. By championing the cause of women, she challenged gender stereotypes and inspired a new generation of female leaders to enter the public sphere. Globally, her work on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights created a lasting framework for international law and continues to empower struggles for freedom and justice across the globe. She demonstrated that one individual, armed with conviction and compassion, could indeed make a profound difference. Her life's work serves as a timeless reminder that true progress is measured not by the accumulation of power or wealth, but by the expansion of justice, compassion, and human dignity. Eleanor Roosevelt did more than just speak for the powerless. She empowered them, and in doing so, she helped build a more humane and hopeful world.